come to you today, head spinning, smoke coming out of my ears, and I spend a lot of my life. I think and I think and I think, and if y'all guys are like me, you've got a million things running around in your head right now, and every day, and the things that are running through my head is how do I get better? How do I get more ahead? How do I express myself more? How do I reach out to others? How do I love more? How do I show more kindness? And I hope that those are some of the things that are going through your mind. I listen to a lot of good things today, and I try to listen to good things every day. Um, we sometimes look at ourselves and don't want to accept maybe all of the things that we're doing wrong and all the things that we're doing right too. So I come across selfish behavior, living about yourself, being about you only. And I've taken a lot of pride through my life that I will reach out, I will help others. And there comes points that my only real concern is me. That's all I'm really concerned about at the end of the day. So I learned some really good things. We got to get out of self and we got to help others. We were put on this earth not to take, but to give. And a lot of times we fall short of that. We get caught up in our own daily struggles and our own problems that we forget to give back. And we forget that sowing that seed that we will reap the rewards. God says, become a blessing and I will bless you. And I do, I get that concept. I do. I walk through life and I talk a lot about karma, and I'm a big believer in karma. Anybody that knows me knows that I talk about karma all the time. Karma will definitely come back around in some form or fashion throughout your life. And I have always said that it's funny that good karma takes a little bit more for you to stack up before you see it coming back good. I'm not going to say I changed the way I believe in that. I know that for me, bad karma, seems to come get me a little bit quicker. But I truly believe that the good karma that we're putting out there is, sometimes it's a mixture of good and bad. I think, we need a little bit better balance in doing good and doing the right thing and reaching out and helping others. I think that's when we truly get the blessings come back to us. Look at it like I'm sowing my seed on Monday, Thursday, and Wednesday. And, Friday and Saturday, I choose to be rude to people, to have an opportunity to be kind, to have an opportunity to take up for someone, or, have an opportunity maybe to make fun at someone so that I'll be cool in front of other people. So I think we break that cycle and we basically pour poison on our seed that we're waiting for our harvest to come, or we're not watering that seed that day. We just forget to water it. We got to continue to water that seed if we want to be blessed. Being a blessing, we're going to fall short because we're mankind and we're human beings and we have sin and we have shortcomings. But I think if we're chasing that more than not, we have an opportunity to make a decision, and all of us can make a decision between right and wrong. And when we know it's the right thing to go help that person lift this or lift that, or, somebody needs a couple of dollars, and, even though they're standing on the side of the corner, begging for money. I can't say I do it every time, but, 90% of the time I listen to their story. And, even right now, man, when I'm dead broke, I gave a guy a couple of dollars the other day, give somebody a couple of dollars the other day, give somebody $5 the other day. And, God says, even help my lowest people. Not exact words that was used in the Bible, but don't be afraid to reach out and help somebody. It grows you. It gives you more spiritual value and makes you look at life in a different way. We take things for granted all the time. I was at the bank yesterday and I seen two women at the counter and a little girl in a wheelchair. And the little girl was 7, 8, 9, 10 years old, and just had the biggest smile on her face and so much joy inside of her heart, and looked at me and smiled and said hi, and I said hi to her and asked her how she was doing. She said, "I'm doing good," and just a big smile. And they had a van outside, a handicap van that had a lift on it and a ramp that you could tell that's her life. Every day she has to go everywhere in that wheelchair. So I seen the grandmother and the mother at the counter, and it was trying to deal with some business at the bank, and from the looks on their face, looked like things weren't going real well. And I could just see the stress in their life. Not only were they faced with some financial problems, best as I could tell, but they also had the wheelchair, the little girl, the van, all of those things to take care of. Me and most of the people that I know, we just have to open up the car door. The kid opens the own car door and gets in the car, and we go on about our business. It made me grab some gratitude, knowing that although my problems are pretty big in my mind, there's always somebody that's got more difficulty, more tragedy, more adversity to overcome than I do. So it got me, it got some gratefulness inside of my heart. It also made me admire the love that God places inside of us, that this little girl, even though she had adversity in her life, she still had a smile on her face, and she wasn't looking at the world as "you've done me wrong and I'm stuck in this wheelchair." No, she didn't have that. It's amazing when we see people like that. Another thing I learned is we stay stuck in our own world so often that we don't allow ourselves to expand out and have an open mind and reach other cultures, reach other people. We're too used to, hanging around somebody that looks like me, somebody that acts like me, somebody that talks like me, somebody that'll laugh at my jokes. And I found myself, admiring different cultures and different religious beliefs. I think that's a good thing for us to get into. I think it definitely expands us. So I ask that you reach outside of your circle, and when you meet somebody or run into somebody that's not like you, try to have a conversation with them. It'll help you grow. If you listen to a certain type of music and your friends listen to something different, maybe listen to what they're listening to. It ain't going to hurt you. You may grow from it. You may learn from it. You may get an experience from it. I know that I take things for granted a lot in my life. And when we was born, we were so fragile. We could barely move. We couldn't hold our head up right. We didn't know anything. We may knew how to, suck milk or something along those lines, but outside of that, we didn't have no real skills or talents. And as life went on, we began to gain skills. We been able to learn how to do things. And we forget, we beat ourselves up and we say, "I can't do this, I can't do that, I can't do this." Well, when you was born, you couldn't walk, you couldn't talk, you couldn't crawl, you couldn't feed yourself, you couldn't do any of these things. And when you tell yourself, "I can't achieve this goal, I can't achieve this dream, I can't become the boss, I can't run a company, I can't become the manager, I can't get a job more than minimum wage," we're feeding our mind full of negative things. We got to give ourselves the opportunity to prove that we can do those things, to believe that we can do those things. Our mind is a very powerful thing. We shove all the bad in it, and it kind of pushes the good out. It was explained to me like this: our mind is like a container. It only holds a certain amount of good and bad, a I'm not going to sit there and say our mind doesn't hold, more information than what we can put in it, because our mind does expand. Follow me on this right here. Your mind is a container for the good and for the bad, and once it reaches 100% capacity, it's full. You can't put anything else inside of there. So if you've got negativity in there from jealousy, maybe you're thinking the co-worker's prettier than you, or you got resentments, you got regrets in life, you're beating yourself up because you didn't lose weight, and you're putting all these negative things inside of your head, inside of your container, and you've got 70% of it filled with negativity. You only got room for 30% of positive. You got to shove more positive in there and get the negative out. If you're walking through life and 70% of your container, 70% of your mind tells you that you can't do it, you can't succeed, you can't make it, you're not even going to take the first step. If it's telling you that you can't be the manager, that you can't rise above in this company, you're not even going to go ask for it. But now look at it like this right here. We all got bad things going on in our life. But let's say in that container, 70% positive. Yeah, at that point, now you've got the courage to walk up to the boss man and say, hey, put me in that spot, I'm ready. But before you do that, your actions are speaking for you. You're doing things that others aren't doing. They tell us all the time that in order for us to achieve greatness, in order for us to surpass our predecessors, we must be willing to do what they're not willing to do. There ain't a whole lot of people like that. Most people want to do just enough to get by, just enough to make it, just enough to get the job done. Look around you. How many people do you see going that extra mile, taking their job and doing their job, but having something else over here that ain't even their job, but they do it. They take care of it. They're not mad. They're not groveling. They're not upset about it. They just do it because they know it's the right thing to do. And you see that person start to elevate. That person start to go ahead. It's not the talent is something that we've got to have. We do got to have some kind of talent at whatever objective we're trying to reach, whether it be a football star or a singer or, a professional worker, a manager, a CEO of a company. We got to have a certain skill set that we're going to, be able to grow on, that we're going to be able to nurture and make stronger. It's not the skill set that keeps you from getting there. It's the drive, it's the desire, it's the want to that you feel inside of your heart. And it all relates back to that negative inside of your head. If you're believing I can't, you're not going to. We've all heard that. Either I can or I can't. Either way, you're right. We all know that, and we've all heard that. We take that and we listen to it, and we're like, oh man, that makes sense. Oh yeah, I'm going to do that. I'm going to do that. I'm going to do that. And then when that opportunity comes across, we just, man, I can't do that. There ain't no way I can do that. You got to get the negative out of your head in order for your mind to start believing that you can. You gotta have something in your gut. You gotta have some fire in there. You gotta have some desire in there. But for that desire to be able to come out in you, you got to get this part in your head. You got to get past that. When that's telling you you can't, it's going to make it real difficult for you to achieve your dreams, achieve your goals, and do the things that you want to do. I want to tell you that, something is growing, something is manifesting inside of me. And the last couple of days have been a little harder. I didn't do a video the last couple of days. For whatever reason, I convinced myself that life was too busy. I had too much going on. I had too much chaos. I had too many things to take care of. And there's no doubt I did. But I got caught up in that selfish behavior of worrying about me, worrying about my bills, worrying about what's going on with me. I've learned, like I was explaining to you earlier, the best time for you to reach out and try to help others is when you're down, when you're hurting, when you're needing. There's always something you can give to somebody whether it be some clothes off in your closet that you're not wearing no more, that you don't necessarily want to let go of, that's got no use to you. Maybe you could mow your neighbor's yard. Maybe you could help your neighbor clean out the garage. You know, maybe you can just see someone that's upset, that's hurting, and you see them out in public and just give them a hug. You know, maybe you can take that person's hand and just pray for them real quick. And that's some hard stuff to do. I'm going to tell you it is. You know, I'm pretty outgoing, and I don't mind walking up to somebody. But doing something like that, you know, walking up to somebody and see that they're crying, that they're upset, that they're hurt, that they're desperate, that they're on the street corner, that, you know, diversity's in their life. And just saying, hey, give me a minute, let me pray with you. I don't have any money to give you. I don't have a house to give you. I don't have a car to give you. I'm in a pretty bad shape right now myself. But I want to pray for you. I want to pray with you. You have no idea what that could do for that person. Maybe that might be that one turning point, that one pinnacle in their life that changes things for them. Just showing them that somebody else cares. Somebody else cares. You know, we all want to feel loved. Ever since we was a little baby, you know, our mom holding us, our dad holding us, and as we grow up, you know, we're 4 or 5 years old, and we want that embrace, we want that hug, we want that approval. We jump up in their lap, and, you know, as we get older, the most soothing thing that we ever get out of life is that embrace from that loved one. When they hold on to us, and we can actually feel their love through them. You know, God put love inside of you. He put compassion inside of you. And He gave you the gift to go out and help others. He encourages not to be selfish. He encourages to lend a helping hand when we can. You know, we need to stop getting caught up in all of our pity problems and, you know, all of our terrible life problems, and understand that everybody's got some problems. And as we sow that seed, you know, unexpectedly, now we can't go out there and say, hey, I'm going to help somebody, so God's going to bless me today. And then, you know, you go out there and you help somebody across the street, and you're like, hey, God, where's mine at, man? Where's mine at? You know, it don't work that way, okay? You have to go out and you have to do those things. And I think that with faith and with doing the right thing, I do believe you can call out to God and boldly ask for things, and, you know, expectedly have blessings come on you. I think when those things don't work for you is when today you help somebody out and it was easy. You know, it wasn't that big a deal to put this lady's groceries in the car or something like that, but you had an opportunity to give this person a hug, or, you know, tell this person, hey, it's okay, man. Life's hard right now, but it's going to get better. And actually talk to that person that you wouldn't normally talk to, that, you know, that filthy person that's, you know, on the side of the road, and, you know, you don't want to associate with him, you don't want to talk with him, you don't want to, you know, invite him into your space and have him start asking you for a whole bunch of money and a bunch of crazy stuff. It's uncomfortable. Every day we have an opportunity to reach our hand out to somebody and do something, whether it just be a smile, whether it just be a nice gesture. Think about that, guys. Try to work on that. Try to lift yourself up. Believe in yourself, and understand, I told you many times that you're a child of God. You know, you're a son, you're a daughter of the Most Highest God out there. You know, the creator of the universe. Give us our heart content, but God put us here and gave us purpose. We need to fulfill that purpose. We need to sow that seed so that we can reap the rewards behind it. Come with me, follow with me. I'm still on my journey. I still got adversity in my life. I haven't got a big break yet, but I've got some good things. And I know with God's will and the power of God inside of me, I know I'll prevail. I'll come out on top. I've always been very good in the business world that I've been in. I've always surpassed my predecessor, and the fella that came in after me never quite caught to where I was getting. And don't get me wrong, I didn't do that all by myself. I did that more by myself than what I'm trying to do now. I've had God inside of me for a long time, not to the capacity that I feel like it needs to be. And that's why I feel, and I've said this for a while, that this run that I'm going to have is going to be the greatest run I've ever had. And I firmly believe that my best thing is in front of me. I'm going to continue to try to let the light of God shine through me, and try to let people know that life can be good and life can be prosperous. And as a man, as a woman, with the drive and the ambition and the right mindset, there's many things that you can accomplish. I truly believe that you will not be able to accomplish the things on your own as if you had God behind you or God with you. It just does something for you. It gives you that extra boost. It gives you that extra energy. It gives you that extra drive. I believe in it, and I'm going to continue to share my story with you. And I'm going to come here, and it's not going to be very long, and tell you, hey, I got this break, I got this break, I changed this in my life, I changed this in my life. I was able to walk through the day yesterday and do everything right. And I had the opportunity to help somebody out, to put my hand out to them, and I've done it each and every time. Because I don't do that every time. I don't do it all the time. I can do a whole lot more. I think we need to walk through life with that giving attitude and not that taking attitude. We're all worried about, what about me? What are you going to give me? What's out there for me? I guess it was said, and I don't remember who said it, it's not what you can, it's not what your country can do for you, it's what you can do for your country. So I'd like to take that and say it's not what God can do for you, it's what can you do for God, what can you do for His people. I think if we view things like that, I think that the glory and the mercy and the gifts and the abundance of God will rain down on us. Imagine a life, if I walk through it and you walk through it, and yeah, making those little small mistakes that we make as human beings, but say 90% of the time, man, doing the right thing, reaching out to that person when they need to be reached out to. Just think how we could change the world. Just think of me and everybody that listens to me just tries to do that every day. Just think what an impact we'd make, guys. I'm telling you, we'd make an impact. Now, I don't know if I can change everything, man. I don't know. I wished I could. I don't know that I'm that powerful. I know God's that powerful. I know, I'm not. But I do want to tell y'all, I want to change the world, man. I do. I want to change it. I want to change it with me, and I want to change it with you. And every part of the world that we can change, guys, it lifts us up. It makes us stronger. Come with me, guys. Come with me on the journey, man. It's going to be a great journey, and I hope you're with me.